Hi, it's me again with CorelDraw tips and tricks. Somebody sent me this and they're trying to make a cake topper, but the checkerboard isn't working for them. And they want to know how they can make it. So everything in black will be the wood or the plastic or the acrylic, and everything else will be cut out. So here's an idea, and I just did it to one flag. Take it and go like this, and that's what it's going to look like. Now, it's not a checkerboard, but you can kind of realize it's a checkerboard. Now, this is only if you're going to cut it out. If I was going to engrave this, then I would take my black and do every other type checker and get a real checkerboard type look and have something like that and engrave that. Now, if you're going to do that, you need to make sure that these lines aren't still there. So what you want to do is when you take this, maybe we can select it all and move them over, and then just move your black back, because you don't want to cut this wood out. So this would work right here. And I'm just using the left arrow key on my keyboard. So that would work. And that's only if you're going to engrave it. If you're going to cut it out, I would suggest just doing this right here and having this so you could do it. And once you've done one to one flag, it would look I actually think that would look better. And then you wouldn't have to engrave it. You're just going to cut it out. So this wasn't as easy as I was thinking it's going to be. And this flag here is terrible. This side wasn't so bad for them. So I'm going to do it to this side. But all these lines aren't connected. And there's a few tricks. And if we look at it, look at all the nodes. So I'm going to select all this. And I'm going to go right here immediately and delete some nodes. I mean, I deleted a lot already because it's not going to change anything. But I actually changed the pole, so I need to go back because I had it selected. There are some double items in here. If we take this and ungroup it, or basically turn the curve apart, if we grab that square, is there another square there? On that one, there's not. This would almost be easier to redraw it, but here's how I did it. It's a little bit time consuming. I got my nudge that color fill on black and I nudged it over. Now you just see it did a double. That's not going to work. So then what I can do, I want to make sure I just had one there. I'm going to skip that one and now do this one. And see, it's giving me single lines when I do that. And then you can take, you don't want to ever do that with the Smart Fill. So whenever you get a double, because it will not work if you, okay, there's a single, 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 single. And what I'm making is new items. But when we get to another double, so I'm just hitting okay, there's a double. So let's back up here and let's do the center one. Let's back up here and do the end one. So that worked and that worked. I'm going to go in and do all three of them, and it's just going to move. For some reason, the Smart Fill tool actually seals that up, and I already have that one. Make sure you don't want double, and then we need to do one more. So for some reason, the Smart Fill tool will seal it up if there's a leak there. Hopefully we won't. I think there's going to be one more on the end. Whoop, I might have done that. See, so sometimes if you'll go ahead of to the next one. Okay, there we have a double. So I'm going to try to fill in this. It worked. Then I can fill in that and move it over. I'm going to go ahead and fill in the rest of them. And see, there's another double. So I'm going to do this. So this is going to work perfectly. I'm just going to go ahead and fill the rest in. And then I can select those and move them over. Now, I'm going to left click, right click. Whoop, I must not have got them all. Left click, right click. And there's individual block. Okay, that might be a double. There's a double. Double. There's only a single. So maybe it did do some doubles, but it might not matter. Let's try this. Let's try grouping this together. Go to Object, Group, and Group. And then let's open up the Effects and Contour. Grab all this and apply it inside 0.02, and it worked. So now all we have to do is get rid of this. And basically I get rid of both flags right now. And so what we can do is just, well, I don't want to get rid of the flagpole. Let's try that. Let's try deleting this. It'd be nice to keep the flagpole. This is where you're holding down the Alt key should help you draw a straight line. Well, there's so many. Okay, I'm not going to worry about the flagpole. I can make so what I've got to do is make a line across here and then take all this and just delete it out. We can make a new flagpole very easily. I've got a little bit of a piece of trash right there. So to make a new flagpole, I'm just going to take my 2-point line and just go up, get it about where I want it. And for the one I'm doing it for, I changed your drawing to hairline and and this has a little bit of, in hairline in red. This has a little bit of a curve to it. So let's take the 3-point curve line and go between these two. Just put a little bit of a curve on our flagpole. Now we can get rid of that line. And like you always want to smart fill it anyway. So now we can take, and we have to go here and go to Object. Well, I need to select it all, break contour apart. Then get the outer one and move it over and see if that worked, and it worked. So here's our inner one. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to move this all the way over, and this would be the easiest thing to do. Instead of deleting all those lines, make a cube and make your smart fill that in, move it down, fill that in, move it over, left click, right click, make sure it's a hairline, and then go there and move it back to your flag. Now, we do not want that to cut twice, so we're going to take and delete this line. Now we can take our new cutouts. It's a little bit too big. That's going to be pretty fragile. So we've got it selected. I'm going to hold down the Shift key, and I'm going to just reduce it a little bit, kind of making the edge a little different. Now, really easy to get rid of the next one. To change it, take a 2-point line and go from there to there, and just take your virtual segment delete key and delete all that. And now this is only if you're going to cut it out and you're not going to do any kind of engraving. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that last line. Now, how I can make a new one is I'm going to just take a line right here, 2-point line anywhere. I'm going to go like right here to right there. I'm going to take my Smart Fill tool and fill that in. So I got a little bit of a leak right there somewhere, and that's quite possibly, and I can see it's a double line. So I'm going to go up to Object and break the curve, ungroup it, and try to grab that line and delete it. So I just had a double line. So take the Smart Fill tool and fill that in. That looks pretty good. I'm going to mirror it the other direction. And I'm going to left click, right click. I'm going to go and make it black so we can see it. And I'm going to come off here and put it anywhere I want. And then, you know, in this case, it would not hurt to have it touching the car area because it's going to make that cake topper a little bit stronger. And I'll show you in just a second. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take that and break it away and come right here. See how that's overlapping? Cut that out. And then, so we've got a bunch of different lines and everything. Now take the Smart Fill tool. Let me get rid of all this. I'm going to set my nudge factor on like, this thing's less than 7 inches, so 7 inches. I'm going to take my Smart Fill tool, fill that in and move it over, and then left click, right click in red, check off of it, and it's all hairline. So that will cut out and it'll look like that. I think that's pretty cool. I think that'll work. The only thing I really see now that I did wrong is that flagpole doesn't match up with the other flag, with the other side of the pole. So let's scrap that idea. Let me back up here to where I had. Well, I was actually looking at my other one. I was looking at the other side. So take that thing and left click, right click, and make it match this pole and even the angle. So maybe it doesn't really need the strength, but what I would do to get this, I would double click and put the rotation to like right here and then mirror that or rotate that guy so it's kind of in that same realm. And there we've still got it touching, so it'll work right there. That'll work. Then just take all this, and when we use the Smart Fill tool, it'll seal up all these joints. And then I'd go ahead and, you know, just make that a little bit stronger. Move this out of the way, and because I backed up, my nudge factor changed. We'll make it 7. Smart Fill. You always want a Smart Fill, and then left click, right click. That way they'll all be a single line. And for the one I'm doing it for, I normally don't do this, but I'll send you this file. But please try it, learn a little bit. Hope that helped. Thank you for watching.